Most of us wake up and immediately try to think our way out of our anxiety, hoping to find solutions to our life's problems. But what if I told you that the fastest way to fix your whole entire life isn't through more strategy, but it's by ignoring your thoughts completely? After wasting years waking up and free journaling about all my problems, I realized that all of those problems seemed to vanish the moment I just allowed myself to move my body. And so I refined and discovered this simple priming technique that literally takes just 10 minutes in the morning and shifts your whole entire mood. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly why your morning doom scroll might be hijacking your brain chemistry in the exact routine that I use to reset my nervous system before the day begins. You see, I used to sit in bed, paralyzed, just wondering, why am I so overwhelmed? Like nothing happened. I literally just woke up and I thought I had a life problem, but turns out I just had a state problem and my body was stagnant and my mind was creating fear and fogginess and I didn't know what to do. I'm Sushmita, but you can call me Sushi, and I help busy minds actually quiet their racing thoughts and find this kind of inner focus using the power of Ashtanga, Vinyasa yoga. And if you want to go deeper than just a quick fix and actually build a consistent practice, there is a link in the description below to join my yoga mastery program. But for now, let's dive into why you need to stop thinking and start priming. 99% of us make the mistake of waking up and feeling low, and we immediately try and fix it with our problem-solving minds. So without even noticing it, this actually ends up ruining the rest of your day and your mood and everyone else's because you're so irritable and like kind of on edge. And so when you first open your eyes, the first thing you do is that you check your phone. And when your brain is in such a delicate transition, it's naturally shifting from delta waves of deep sleep into alpha waves of this state of relaxed alertness. This is your golden hour. But when you unlock that screen and that blue light just hits your own eyes, it's almost like you're hijacking this natural process in two separate ways. So the first thing is called the dopamine trap. So the blue light and that ping of a notification can kind of trigger a cheap dopamine spike in your system. And so because you haven't earned this stimulation, you haven't done anything to actually earn this stimulation through movement or effort, your brain creates this immediate dependency on waking up and needing to check the phone. And so what you're doing is you're fragmenting your attention even before both your feet have hit the ground. The second and more dangerous issue is the cortisol issue. So normally your body produces a gentle rise in cortisol in the morning to help you wake up, to help you carry on with the rest of the day. But back in our hunter-gatherer days, we woke up with the sunrise and we slept with the sunset. So our bodies naturally adapted to producing this spike in energy to get us moving, to, get us going with the day without any kind of alarm. But when you wake up and you check your news or you check those notifications or even just an email that you've been waiting for, it's almost as if your amygdala, which is that fear center in your brain, it doesn't just register this as like a screen that you're looking at with information on it. It kind of perceives it as a threat. And so it starts to pump all of these stress hormones into your blood so that you can do something about it. So even though it feels like you're just checking your social media, you're just catching up on the news, you're just seeing if someone liked your photo, you're actually physically triggering a fear response in your brain. And I cannot stress this enough. I've struggled with this myself. So I'm telling you, if you have your phone next to you while you're asleep, put it in a different room, use a physical alarm clock, because this is actually creating this anxiety in your body. And this is why you feel so overwhelmed and so scattered by the time it's 8 a.m. You didn't wake up stressed, you actually scrolled yourself into the state of feeling stressed. And you trained your nervous system to be reactive to the world instead of you deciding to be proactive with your energy and where you choose to put it. But as some great person once said, you can't solve the problem with the same level of consciousness that actually created it. And when you wake up tired, or when you wake up dehydrated, or when you wake up stiff, you're already in this low physiological state. And from that state of being, your brain is literally wired to scan for danger, and you cannot start making lists, you cannot start emailing people, you can't try to strategize your way out of that feeling. So even if things are going properly, even if things are just, all good generally, when you're in this survival state, when your body is in this kind of like stress response, it's almost like all of of these hormones are pumping through your blood to seek and find things that are going wrong. I know this sounds crazy, but if you recognize this in yourself, where you're constantly negatively cognizing and finding things that are going wrong, this is probably why. And we think that by 9 a.m., this meeting is going to go badly, it's going to go terribly, I haven't really done everything that I needed to do, it's going to be a disaster. Then we end up overthinking, when in reality, the problem goes away the moment you realize it's actually that you're not understanding your biology and you're not working with your biology in the right way. Okay, so what's the solution? I love solutions so much. So the solution is to stop thinking and to start priming. Now, priming is simply changing your biology before you attempt to use your strategy, use your problem-solving mind. And by priming the body, by preparing the nervous system, your strategy will stick, your strategy will actually work. And so my rule is really simple. I'm not allowed to trust my thoughts until I've moved my body and done my morning practice. Whether that looks like just 10 minutes of like sun salutations or just breathing, it doesn't matter. This is the exact 10-minute routine that I use to shift from survival mode to thriving mode. I know that sounds cheesy, but let's get into it. The first one is the pattern interrupt. Now, this is really, really important. The pattern interrupt is the thing that you do to stop believing or behaving like your old self. You have to be brave enough and actually do something that's opposite to what you're usually habitually used to doing. So if habitually you're used to waking up and scrolling, then you have to kind of break that pattern consciously. And so when you stop being that old self, then you have a chance to build a new self. And so the moment that you wake up and you decide, okay, I need to scroll, your brain is screaming at you to do what's comfortable, you're going to not grab your phone, not check your Instagram, not seek the distraction. You're not going to be addicted to what's familiar. You're going to break the pattern and do something different. I know that all of this feels uncomfortable and you're probably resisting this, but it's in that path that true, real change starts to happen. And if you want a different life, you have to do something different to what you're always used to doing. So you have to have the courage, you have to have the strength to do and be someone that you're not used to being. And trust me, when you actually implement this, there's only like a little split second of discomfort or like doubt where you have to choose the boring action over the stimulating one. But I promise you, when you actually lean into that split second and you utilize that split second to make the right choice, the rest of your day will go much better. So instead of looking at your phone, try and drink a large glass of water, for example. I know that sounds too simple and too boring to be life-changing, but that's exactly the point. Your ego wants some fancy, complicated solution, but your body kind of just needs hydration. So wake up. Instead of looking at your phone, choose water. And by choosing water, you're not just hydrating, you're also telling yourself that you are in control of your morning. You're telling yourself that you're not going to be a slave to your default impulses, but you're going to be the driver. You're going to be the one that chooses how this day goes. And it feels uncomfortable at first, but I promise you that discomfort is the only place where real, true growth happens. Next is the sugar shift. I know this sounds crazy, but for so many of you, that morning panic isn't actually anxiety. Okay, maybe you actually have anxiety, but sometimes it's just that you haven't eaten. If you think about it, you're asleep for 8 to 10 hours, and while you're asleep, you haven't eaten anything, and your fuel tank is on empty. And so when your blood sugar kind of drops too low, your brain perceives it as this survival threat. It needs to make sure that you don't die of starvation, right? So because it thinks you're going to starve and die, it'll do everything it can to start sending these, signals to your body. And the physical symptoms of low blood sugar, which is the shakiness, the racing heart, the irritability, the hangriness, all of those things are identical to symptoms of anxiety. So you might feel anxious, but your brain is actually just searching for a reason to be anxious. Maybe it's like latching onto something at work or something that's happening in your relationship, when in reality, it could be a false flag. It could just be that all you need to do is grab a handful of nuts like macadamia, almond, whatever you want, and just put that in your mouth. I like to have like either a banana with peanut butter or just like macadamia or almonds before I practice, because I like to stabilize the machine first before I expect it to like do what I want it to do. And so if you're a woman and if you're going through, especially you're going through phases in your life where there's a lot of hormonal changes, I highly recommend that you don't practice on a completely empty stomach. And once that low blood sugar thing is fixed, you'll see how 50% of your problems just kind of vanish. You weren't having a crisis, you were just kind of hungry and you were forcing your body to like think through big problems without actually just fueling it. So really simple, make sure you eat before you practice. Number 3 is movement. So now that you've actually kind of primed and prepared your body, this is the core. I like to get on my mat and just do 5 to 10 rounds of sun salutation A. It's really, really simple, because even when a lot of resistance comes up, I just like to find the center within myself and make sure that I complete those 5 to 10 rounds, or how many ever rounds that I decide. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not doing it to get some kind of workout. I'm just doing it to actually force prana into my system and get out of my thinking mind. Because whenever you do a forward fold in the dvay position, you calm the nervous system. Whenever you lift your chest and you come into upward dog, you fight that posture of depression. So really, by round 1 and round 2, it's the hardest, but by round 3, your blood starts flowing. By round 5, you'll notice, oh my gosh, that fogginess that I thought was going to never lift kind of lifts. And by round 10, you look at your same problems, you look at your same things that once caused you all of this stress, and you're like, oh wait, this isn't a disaster. This is just another thing on my to-do list. I can totally handle this. But it comes from your body believing that it's actually in a different state, that it's in a state where it can handle all of that stress. Just remember, your body is infinitely pliable, so is your mind, but you actually have to trust it. And so this priming actually helps it. And so the golden rule that changed my life is the first 60 minutes of the day are absolutely sacred. Like, no one gets to just kind of impinge on it. And if you diversify your attention in that first hour, if you scroll, if you check emails, if you get into an argument, or if you let the world just kind of rush in, you fracture your focus for the rest of the day. And this is really, really important, because you're telling your brain that everyone else's demands, that everyone else's priorities are more important than your peace, than your sense of safety. And so the world will always try to impinge on you with deadlines and demands and things that you have to do. And I know that sometimes it feels like if you don't respond to them right now, then everything will collapse. But you and I both know that that's not actually true. And let's be real, unless your life is perfect, most of us wake up and we're not in the best state of mind. We're in a lower emotional state. We recognize all the problems that we haven't solved. We're tired, we're groggy, we're irritable, and we're vulnerable. So my challenge to you is this. Tomorrow morning, as soon as you wake up, give yourself just a little bit of time to prime and to do all of these different things before the world gets your attention. So don't just wake up and start journaling about all your problems. Don't wake up and scroll or check your emails. Don't strategize. Don't write out your to-do list. Just make sure that you move, that you get the blood flowing before you use your thinking mind. And if you want to learn the exact sequence, the sun salutations that I was talking about, or even the entire Ashtanga sequence, you can see the link in the description below. There is a link to set up a call with me where we can chat about your goals. And if you're the right fit, then I will invite you to join the Yoga Mastery program. But I have a few spots left, and it would be so lovely to chat with you and also get to know you. We go really, really deep, and the people that go through the program actually say there was life before the program and like life after the program. So I have lots of confidence in it, and if you want to actually have a way to incorporate this into your life, then you should definitely do that. So click the link in the description below. But even otherwise, thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the very end. Thank you for listening to me, for also being open-minded to all of these ideas. If you like these videos, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that the algorithm sends you more. Share this with a friend and all the good things. You know what to do. But take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.